One funny story I can think of in the pit was during Pagliacci a few years ago. One of the clarinetists got their swab stuck in the instrument, and I remember it being kind of just like a comedy of errors, but also like this teamwork sense that you don't see on stage because everybody's still working to look professional. But it was like people running in and out of the pit. They got like another clarinet and it didn't work. And they got another clarinet, it was the wrong key. And then Elaine pulled out these like they're like dental tools. I don't even like they're long. And she's like reaching back there trying to pull the swab out with these giant pinchers. And I'm just sitting there like, does anyone in the audience see any of this? And it all worked out, and teamwork saved the day. And I'm sure like it felt like the worst thing in the world to the people involved, but from a bystander's perspective, I was just like, this is just
This
going
is so
on.
cool. Yeah.
Nobody even notices.
Wow. And when was this? Was this your first year?
Yeah, I was
Did
still
you?
pretty new, so I was still getting used to playing in the pit and what that whole experience is like. But the pit there's like a different sense of teamwork than in a stage orchestra where I think you're always worried about how you're being perceived because the lights are on. In the pit, it's definitely more of a sense of like we're all in this together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Uh, it is a hard question. I feel like every time I get asked this question, I answer differently. So today I've been thinking a lot about Critico lately. I
mhm.
love Critico, which maybe is cheating because it's three operas, but they're the three operas together. So I'm gonna go with that. I love Puccini. I love the colors and the textures that he gets, and those three operas I think are such a good sampling of Puccini. And Sir Angelica is just like, oh, like everybody leaves crying. It's
Mhm.
perfect tragic opera, and then the music is just so heartbreaking. It's one of my favorites from an audience perspective. I love, again, Puccini. I love the Zeffirelli productions at the Met. I know that they're old favorites for a reason, but when that curtain opens up on Turandot, I'm always like, it's
Yeah, it's so
so cool.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there are so many people up there. So it makes it so exciting because everything's changing all the time. And the sets are so breathtaking.
You're a part of such a large production. Like your individual role in it is really important, but the bigger picture is really all of that energy, all of that effort is what makes grand opera so special.
Mm-hmm. And what do you miss most about playing at the Met?
I think it's what we talked about, that teamwork, that energy you get from all of these collective people working together for the same goal in real time. There's something that I kind of miss with everything on the internet, that you just don't get that sense of danger that live performance has. Everybody's putting themselves on the line, and it's only going to happen for that hour or two and then it's over. Like I think that that's what makes live music, live performance, live opera so spellbinding, is that you're
Yeah.
just part of this world for a short period of time, and sometimes like absolute magic happens.
Yeah, it's so exciting and it's just this electricity happening and everyone's in it at the same time. And I think it's cool that you can't really recreate this same exact moment in art. Yeah, I definitely miss a lot of the excitement and the spontaneity.
My best advice for young musicians, or especially musicians during this time, is to remember why you love music, and to remember that loving music can look different at different points in your life. Whether you're working a full time non music job or full time in an orchestra, the way that you care about your art form doesn't always have to be practicing 8 hours a day. Sometimes it can be listening, sometimes it can be just thinking about music, sometimes it can be being an audience member. I think there's so many different ways to feel fulfilled in this industry, and right now we're at a point where almost nobody is out there performing. So instead of feeling discouraged, I think it's a good time to look into why you really care about music and what gets you excited.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the things that new people in sections have to remember is that they deserve to be there. I know I struggled a little bit with that imposter syndrome idea when I first got to the Met. Like, here I was sitting amidst people who I had so much respect for. I was like, they must have made a mistake. Like they must have meant to hire someone else, not me. And I think that that can be a common problem when people join new groups of people they really respect, that you can be really hard on yourself because you're like, these are my idols. Like these are people
Mm-hmm.
who I look up to, and they must be thinking that everything I'm doing is such a mess. And I think what I'm doing is a mess. I think changing that mindset so that you're like, I deserve to be here. I'm prepared. I'm excited about the music. Those are really the important things. You know, playing is only half of being on a team, and being in an orchestra is really being a team player.